becoming a burden on your loved ones, where they have to support you because you're a real estate agent, but you're not really doing a lot. I want you to sell real estate because you want to, not because you have to. I don't want you to be worried that you have to have your next closing or you're not going to be able to pay your bills and you're 75 years old still struggling to get that next deal, or worse, the worst feeling I could ever imagine, becoming a burden on your loved ones, where they have to support you because you're a real estate agent, but you're not really doing a lot. You're just dealing with past clients, and at this point, a lot of your past clients have died. This is the reality that an awful lot of agents struggle with. I'm going to give you the cold, hard truth. If you don't like a whole lot of swearing and cussing, it's best for you to leave now. If you don't want that truth, it's best for you to leave now. If you're the type that's the woke, offended, I can't believe he said that, just leave now. You're going to be offended. I promise you I will offend you. I'm here to make a difference. I don't care what your opinion is of me. I care that I make a difference in your life for you, your loved ones, and ultimately your future, where you go from this point forward. So you're going to get that cold, hard truth. And if you followed me for a while, I've been coaching for 25 years, since the late 1900s. I'd rather be right, or I'd rather be rich. If you think you know how things work, you say, oh, Greg doesn't know my market. Greg thinks this, but in my market, it's different. You get to choose. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be rich? Because what you know now, how smart you are, what you do now, that got you where you're at. Congratulations. That's how good you are, by the way. And congratulations for those of you that are already very successful. You're helping your loved ones. You're doing all the things. You're contributing to charities the way that you want to. There's so many agents that are doing that, and that really inspires me as well. Congrats if that's the case. But if that's not the case for you, that too is your fault. So maybe that's all you know. It's certainly all you do, because trust me, I've got a treadmill that I don't use. You may have knowledge that you don't use. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But, the fact is we're never really taught how to run a business. And I don't want that to be a cliche statement here. I mean, we're truly never taught how to run a real business. We're taught how to stay out of trouble and not get into lawsuits. And we know how many square feet are in 7/8 of an acre. I don't know what the hell we would need that for. But that's what we needed to pass our test. And we never used that info again. Those of you that have been licensed over 10 years, I think you'll agree, you couldn't pass that test today because you haven't used that information in 10 years. It's fake. It's typical schooling, right? It's typical teaching that's out there that's not really used in the real world. You also will never need to know the square root of pi. You'll never need to dissect a frog. You haven't used a Bunsen burner once. I don't even remember. What was the year of the War of 1812? I don't even remember when that happened. Because it's stuff that you have to memorize to pass a test, but it's not real world training. And look, if you're a licensed real estate agent, you mistakenly thought the broker was supposed to help you because you work for them, right? They should be giving you advice. Well, look, they call them brokers because they're broker than you. They aren't creating successful students. Look around. That's what they've created. So it's up to you to learn how to run a business the right way. And that's essentially what we're going to be covering here. How to run a business, and that, what's my advertising budget? What type of return on investment should I expect with that? We're going to cover all of that because the truth is, left to your own devices, meaning you're the one handling this, you're the only one doing this, you will demolish your own chances at success. And the more ambitious you are, the bigger that problem's going to be, because ultimately what we know is you're going to buy more stuff. Well, I'll try that. Well, that sounds good. Well, let me try these leads. Let me try this system over here. And your ambition is causing you to buy and to spend money. So your goal is to make sure that what you're doing is going to be profitable, not going to be testing. You can't be testing these things out. So left to your own devices, you will absolutely demolish your financial future. You will see an insidious erosion. An insidious erosion is something that happens so slow you don't even notice it. It's like a creek that comes through the mountains and it wears that rock down after a long period of time. That's what happens to your credit card balances. They keep climbing up. That's what happens to, I want to go to another brokerage to lower my costs. I'm going to switch phone services because I can save $25 a month. I'm going to keep cutting costs, and you shrink into oblivion. I want you to write this down. You don't have a problem with expenses. You have a problem with income. Write that down for me. You don't have a problem with expenses. You have a problem with income. If you knew what my expenses were, you would lose your freaking mind. Those that have been at my live events and you've seen what that is. It's 6 figures weekly. I don't have a problem with that. I still put money away and invest and do the things I want to do. But I started where, and many of you know my story, I finally got a deal in contract. I'm doing the contract at 11 o'clock at night, and sure enough, I hit print. This was way back in the day before we had digital. I hit print, and my toner was gone. I couldn't even print the contract, and I didn't have the money. I've been shaking the thing to get another page out of it. I didn't have room on my credit card to get more toner. So this was way back in the day. We had to have an office to have a computer and a printer and a copier and all of those things. It's so much easier now. You know, when I first started selling, I found out awful damn quick this business is scary and this business is lonely. And that's even more so now. You know, I mean, when you look at now that we all work from home, right? When EXP first came out, oh my gosh, that's digital and I have to be around people and I don't know. You know, when that first came out, everybody was kind of, you know, not sure about that. And only the young guys were going there because they understand everything's in the cloud and whatever. Now we work from home. We might have an office that we can go into, but for a lot of agents, they don't do that every day. And what happens is this business becomes lonely. You're depending on yourself and really your computer, whatever's me coming to you right now. You're depending on these things to help you to build a business. So it's a scary business. It's definitely high expenses, right? I think that's one of the reasons many of you know I own more racehorses than anybody in the United States of America. I own standardbreds, trotters, and pacers. I don't do the runners where they're on their back. But the expenses are crazy. And I think that's why I'm good in that industry, because I was so good in real estate. I was okay having big expenses. Office fees, commission splits with the brokerage, referral fees for relocation companies, advertising costs, which keep going up, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram ads and running postcard campaigns and doing neighborhood funnels and trying to do geographic farming and branding myself. I realized very quickly there's a lot of expenses. You know what another option for you is? Lower your expenses. You just lowered your income. You just failed. You can switch to another brokerage if you want. You're slowly, insidiously failing. You do not have a problem with expenses. You have a problem with income. As a matter of fact, if I can show you how to spend $300 on postcards or sales letters or something, hypothetically, if I could show you how to spend $300 and you could get back a closing, 12 grand, it cost you $300 to do it, but it cost your family $12,000 for you to get scared. It cost your family $12,000 ripped out of your retirement account. Ripped out of your, I can finally take you to a nice dinner and we don't have to order off the right side of the menu. We could actually look at what it is rather than look at the prices. I think you deserve to have a better quality of lifestyle, but it's going to come down to changing the approach that you're utilizing here, because it's worth it, because it comes back tenfold, what we call turning dimes into dollars. So if you can find a way to do that, you'd be crazy not to do it. And really, the more time that you have, the better off you're going to be. As long as you have at least 4 or 5 years, you're going to be okay. Let me give you that again. As long as you have 4 or 5 years, you're going to be okay. I don't care what your debt looks like right now, we can make it go away very quickly. As a matter of fact, look at that total number. How many closings is that? If crazy number, let's say we could get all those closings next month, how many would it be? 5? For some agents, that's 100 grand. It's at least 50 grand. You're not as scared when you're making good money, right? When you have a little bit of a cushion, when you've got that first 100 grand, as Warren Buffett and more importantly, Charlie Munger always told us, you might want to look up Charlie Munger 100,000. You might want to look up that little quote, because that first 100 grand is a bitch, but you got to do it. And when you do, life becomes so much easier for you. There's so many more things you can do to very quickly get to $1 million in net worth. You gotta struggle to make that happen. You really gotta do it the right way. So we'll talk a lot about that, but you know, there's a lot that I hate about this industry, and I have for a long, long time. I quickly learned these things when I first got licensed. The best approaches are often held closely to our chest, and damn it, they're expensive. To get a good coach, it's not cheap. You can get loser coaches out there. You can get coaches out there that need your bill to go through or they can't pay their bills. It's very rare to find someone and to be able to afford someone that can give you the guidance you need. Let me tell you, if you don't have a broker in your town, not your broker, but any broker in your town or in your state that's cranking out multi-millionaire agents, don't take any advice from them. I love my parents. They try to give me good advice, but they got some dumb-ass advice. You know why? Because they're broke. I take life advice from them. I take personal advice. I'll take advice on being a man. I will never take advice on getting rich from somebody that's broke. Now, it works the other way too. My mentors on the financial side, I damn sure, hell, one of them's been divorced 5 times. I wouldn't take any relationship advice from him. You got to decide who's qualified to really teach you. And I practice what's called the pile rule, P-I-L-E, the pile rule. Here's how that works. If your pile of money is bigger than my pile of money, I'm willing to listen to you.
I know they waiting on me. I know they waiting on me. The world is waiting on me. The world is waiting on me. Yeah, I know they